Sports. We are Blackmore. We are Southwest.
The Seattle Mariners have been boom or bust in the early going this season. A lot of the boom has come from newly acquired Nelson Cruz. The former Ranger has hit a home run in 5 straight games, but the Mariners have had trouble scoring without the long ball. A 3-city road trip for your Rangers begins tonight in Seattle, and Yovani Gallardo faces the M's for the first time in his career. From the beautiful Northwest, the Rangers and the Mariners get underway next on Fox Sports Southwest.
Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T UVerse TV. Now from beautiful Safeco Field, it's your Rangers starting off on an 8-game, 10-day road trip as they are hosted by the Seattle Mariners. And welcome in everyone, along with Tom Greaves, Steve Busby. Delighted you could join us for this Friday night of Rangers baseball. Thanks for staying up late with us. See if the Rangers can't get a win as they start on this road trip. They will turn the ball over tonight to Yovani Gallardo, who is making his 3rd start of the year, Tom.
Well, he struggled in his first start, Buzz. The first start was in Oakland. Threw a lot of pitches, only pitched 4 innings, but he bounced back nicely at home against Houston. One thing he'll probably want to do today, even though this is a big ballpark, he'll probably want to use his 2-seam fastball, keep the ball down, make it sink. As we mentioned in the open, this ball club, Seattle, has not hit for much of an average, but they've hit the ball out of the ballpark. So keeping it down, making them hit the ball on the ground probably will work to his advantage.
Well, the veteran right-hander Yovani Gallardo getting the start tonight, and certainly looking to get his first road win in quite a while. It's been last August, the last time he won on the road. Now the Rangers looking to start off this road trip on the right foot. We'll come back with more of our pregame from Safeco Field in Seattle right after this.
dealers. The EcoBoost Challenge is on at your Texas Ford dealer. Get to your best in Texas Ford dealer today. By AT&T U-verse TV. U-verse has more live TV channels on the go than cable. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. A beautiful shot of the Puget Sound. Rangers getting set to take on the Seattle Mariners. A cool, crisp evening here at Safeco Field. We'll be back with the starting lineups and the first pitch right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. I've seen up here this time of year. Normally it's a little cloudy and chillier, but 64 degrees. Getting ready for first pitch tonight. Giovanni Gallardo and the rest of the ball club pretty comfortable here in Safeco Field. The first of 8 ball games on this road trip. Tonight, the first game of this 3-game weekend series. Your Rangers and the Seattle Mariners. And here's Tom with the Southwest Airlines Texas Rangers lineup.
Well, the Rangers will go back to their opening day. Top of the order, Leonis Martin will lead off in center field. Elvis Andrus is the shortstop batting second. Prince Fielder, the DH, is third, followed by Adrian Beltre in the cleanup spot. In right field is Shin-Soo Choo. Robinson Chirinos, the catcher, bats sixth. Rougned Odor at second will bat seventh. Adam Rosales gets the start tonight at first base. And batting ninth, the left fielder, Jake Smolinski.
And the Rangers will be facing the tall, lean left-hander, Jay Happ. Happ, a 32-year-old, and making his second Seattle Mariners start here tonight. And this ballpark is perfectly suited for Jay Happ. He's very much a fly ball pitcher. And of course, this ballpark suits him to a T. Basically, fastball changeup. He'll mix in an occasional breaking ball, but he has always been a guy that has had reverse splits. In other words, he's had better luck getting right-handers out than he has left-handers, and part of that's attributable to not really having a great breaking ball. So we'll see if the Rangers can't make some hay on that point tonight. But a fly ball pitcher, as we mentioned, in this ballpark, that's no damage done. Happ, 32, originally was with the Philadelphia Phillies. Spent some time in Houston, also Toronto, before coming over to the Seattle Mariners. We'll take a look at the defense behind him here tonight. Dustin Ackley in left, Austin Jackson in center, Nelson Cruz in right, Logan Morrison at first, Robinson Cano and Brad Miller up the middle, Kyle Seager at third, And Mike Zunino is catching, a team that has become very familiar to the Rangers over the last couple of years. So set to go. Here is Leonys Martin back in that leadoff spot tonight. You mentioned Jeff Bannister going back to his roots, if you will, back to what he had planned coming out of spring training. And that means Leonys right at the top. Elvis Andrus batting second, as Tom told you. And you're going to rely on that duo to get things started production-wise against Happ tonight.
Well, you hope that the top guys in the lineup, Martin and Andrus, get hot and start to get on base. The lineup just doesn't work for anybody when the top guys are low on base percentage, and the middle of the order guys just don't have anybody to knock in. Both of these guys have struggled. Leonys is 3 for his last 30. Elvis 5 for his last 34. So for the team to click offensively, these two guys have to get on base.
Yeah, the Rangers come in hitting just .210 as a team. That is good for next to last in the American League. Just behind Seattle. Rangers, though, have scored 37 runs. That's right in the middle of the pack. 3 balls and a strike to Leonys Martin. And a strike fills the count. Martin headed to first, but Jim Wolf, the home plate umpire, said, "No, come on back here. We'll try it one more time." Leonys, a 143 average. Payoff pitch. Got the leadoff walk. A good, selective, patient at bat by Leonys Martin draws the leadoff pass. He is aboard for Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, Leonys has not had a lot of at-bats like that. He's had a couple of walks, but he eyeballed some pretty close pitches in that at-bat. Very patient at-bat for him. Generally a free swinger. A number of those pitches were close enough to swing at, maybe pitches he would normally swing at, but not tonight. He was patient, and we have a fast leadoff man on base. That's nice to see.
Well, here's Elvis, Rangers shortstop, hitting at a .167. Shows bunt, and that draws both Morrison and Seager, the corner men, down the line toward home, but Elvis pulled it back at strike one. Elvis, a home run, 4 driven in so far. See if the Rangers can't get a little of that team speed employed here in that first inning. Martin, a pretty good lead at first. And Elvis now down on the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Well, that takes care of the hit and run, but he still uses speed. Maybe a little first to third action. Huh?
That'll work. It has the feel tonight of a night where it might be tough to hit the ball out in center field.
Yeah, what breeze there is now. The roof is open here. It doesn't enclose the ballpark anyway, but there's a little bit of a breeze coming in from left field. And Elvis down on strikes as Happ went upstairs, and Elvis couldn't climb that high. You know, look at the flags out in left field. They're drifting in from left field toward home plate.
That was a good pitch when you're ahead in the count. Try to get a little bit out of the strike zone, and he got the hitter to swing at it.
The one away, and here is Prince Fielder. Fielder has had more at-bats against Happ than any other Ranger. Time in the National League, obviously. Prince off to a great start at .400 this year. Fielder in his career against Happ, 6 for 19, I should say. That's a .316 average with 4 RBI. Happ a check of first. Long hold, and he's going to make sure that Leonys Martin doesn't have any kind of a walking lead. And a good look at the Mariner defense. Swung around to the right, but not in an overshift. Going the other way, down the line, it's a fair ball.
That's a thing of beauty.
That is headed toward the corner. Ackley over, trying to cut it off. He can't do it. Elvis being waved around third. The throw not in time. Leonis Martin slides in with head first with the first run of the game. An RBI double for Prince Fielder. The Rangers on top 1-0.
Well, early in the season, it's only 10 or 11 games into the season, but Prince is getting more than his share of hits to the left side of the infield. That was a fastball. Looked like it tied him up a little bit. No, it actually is a slider that tied him up a little bit. He just swings at it and just grounds it right down the left field line. Prince continues to do his job with men in scoring position. 6 for 8 now with men in scoring position. The rest of the team is 10 for 68 with men in scoring position.
Ackley going over trying to cut this ball off before it got deep into the corner and ran himself into the wall. And that was enough for Leonis Martin to be sent home by Tony Beasley and for Prince Fielder to pick up his 5th RBI of the year. Now Adrian Beltre. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Adrian off to a slow start at 163. 2 for 4 in his career against J-Happ. Beltre spent 5 years in a Mariner uniform. Well, he came up here after that great year with the Dodgers, and he had 48 home runs. Came up here to Seattle, and it just froze him. He still had fairly good home run totals, but nothing like the 48 he hit in L.A. And Mike Zunino out to talk with Happ. Prince Fielder hanging around second base out there. Happ checks him and hits the outside corner. Beltre, the distinction of having hit 100 or more home runs with 3 different clubs, with the Dodgers, with Seattle, and with the Rangers. Fox tracks you only a call by Jim Wolf on a pitch that just nicked the outside corner. Austin Jackson has this one measured. Fielder tagging at second, and he will not go anywhere as Jackson hits the ball back in fairly quickly. So Beltre out, 2 away, and Shin-Soo Choo will come up.
Yeah, Adrian hit that ball fairly well, but it's going to take a major blast to hit it out in center field today. Go back a few years when Mitch Moreland hit that ball off Michael Pineda here on a night like this, where we probably said the same thing. The ball's probably not going to go out to center field. And he hit that 95-mile-an-hour fastball about 10 rows back. It wasn't a back-of-the-wall scraper. That thing was way out of here.
First pitch to Choo is in at the knees for strike 1. Shin-Soo hitting 182 with a home run, 3 driven in. Last 4 ball games been a little bit rough for Shin-Soo. Remember, he had to come out of a ball game a week ago with those back spasms. Lofts one to left field. Ackley makes the catch, and that'll do it. But the Rangers strike for a run on 1 hit and 1 left after a half inning. Rangers 1, Mariners coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. Mariners lineup looks like.
It looks like this. Buzz, Austin Jackson is going to lead off in center field. Seth Smith, the DH, will bat second. Robinson Cano third. Nelson Cruz bats fourth. Kyle Seager, the Ranger killer, he bats fifth at third base. Logan Morrison is the first baseman. In left field, batting seventh is Dustin Ackley. The catcher, Mike Zunino, will bat eighth. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Brad Miller.
Well, let's hope the Rangers can find an answer to the Ranger killer Seager. They're going to throw out Giovanni Gallardo, who has not faced them before. This only one of four teams that Giovanni Gallardo in Major League Baseball has not faced. Better command last time out. That was what he credited with the improvement and the W. And he will try and build on that. Austin Jackson, the Denton, Texas native out of Denton Ryan High School. It's just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson off to a bit of a slow start. 200 the batting average and 243 the on-base percentage. Off the fist, up the middle, knocked down. Long throw by Odor, and they got him. Rugnet very quick picking that ball up. And it's a good thing, too, because Jackson gets down the line pretty well.
It looked like Rugi was shading up the middle just a little bit on Austin Jackson, because off the bat it looks like a base hit. Just right over Giovanni's head. Slices back a little bit toward Rugi, gets the glove on it, picks it up. And there's where a strong arm for a second baseman comes in handy when you've got a fast runner trying to beat that ball out.
When Odor does. We've seen him on that jump throw and the throws that he's had to go behind second base like that one. Strong arm. Well, here's Seth Smith, DHing tonight. And Smith has had very little luck against Gallardo. All the National League appearances, just 2 for 17. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Smith off to a good start for the Mariners this year. 357 average. No home runs, a couple of runs driven in. I mentioned the Mariners struggling offensively. They are batting like the Rangers, 210, but they are just parts of a percentage point better. They are 13th in the American League. Only 32 runs scored in the first 9 games and 14 home runs. Second, the 32 runs, 11th in the league. Right down the middle, it's 3 balls and a strike to Smith.
The Mariners have some homegrown players, a number of them. Miller, Zunino, Ackley, Seager. And they've tried to add some offense over the last couple of years. They've had solid pitching, but they needed more offense. Smith is one of those guys they've added. Pretty solid professional hitter. Obviously, a year ago they added Robinson Cano, one of the best offensive players in the American League. And of course, this offseason they added Nelly Cruz, who led the major leagues in home runs last year. So they feel like with the addition of these 3 guys that their offense should be significantly better, and they need their young homegrown players to continue to develop.
Boy, Giovanni Gallardo comes all the way back from being behind, 3 balls and no strikes, and gets Smith swinging for out number 2. Let's take a look at the Ranger defense. And tonight it's delivered to you by Brake Check. Outfield for the Rangers, Smolinski, Martin, and Chu, left, center, and right. Adam Rosales at first, Rugnet Odor, Elvis Andrus up the middle, Adrian Beltre at third, Robinson Chirinos is catching, and Giovanni Gallardo is on the hill. Rangers on top 1-0, and here is the aforementioned Robinson Cano. 0-1.
There wasn't anything fancy about the strikeout of Seth Smith. Behind in the count, I think Smith pretty confident he's going to get a fastball. And he saw 3-1, 3-2 fastballs right down the middle of the plate. And Giovanni just threw him right by him.
I guess when you've gone 2 for 17 against a guy, sometimes you hit on reputation too.
Just not picking the ball up, I guess. But
yeah,
there's a fastball right by Cano too. Yep. That's nice to see.
Just a 211 average, but you know very good and well the 6-time All-Star is going to change that in the near future. One and two now. Robinson Cano coming over last year. You know, and Tom, you mentioned the Mariners adding Cruz and Cano and stuff. Up until, well, the start of last year, every time you saw the Mariners, it seemed like a patchwork team, like they were just trying to get a few veterans to fill in around Seager and Ackley and folks like that. This team doesn't have that feel.
No, because I think what it was back then, Buzz, is they were putting all the emphasis on their young, homegrown players. Justin Smoke was batting in the middle of the lineup, and if the young players didn't get the job done, they were going to have a hard time. And you're right, now with Cruz and Cano in the middle of the lineup, the younger, homegrown players can kind of fill in and be complementary guys to the studs in the middle of their lineup.
Right.
And obviously Seager has become one, a homegrown player who's developed quicker and much better than their other homegrown players, at least so far. Ackley's off to a decent start this year, but he's underperformed based on where he was drafted and what their expectations were of him.
Now 3 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Cano. Gallardo with a payoff, and he got it.
Good movement.
Oh, a good fastball down and away at 93, and Giovanni Gallardo gets 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 first inning after 1. Rangers leading 1-0. Ninth. Rangers taking on the same Seattle Mariners, and come on out to Globe Life for one of the last games in April and enjoy ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. Visit TexasRangers.com for tickets, or if you prefer, call 972-RANGERS. Robinson Chirinos starting things off against Jay Happ here in the second. And Happ hits the outside corner for strike 1. Chirinos a 176 average. He is right at the top, though, in RBI in the ball club with 5 of them. Five RBI, all coming in that Tuesday game against the Angels. A new career high for Robinson Chirinos. Out of play to the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chirinos on that homestand was 3 for 12. Got him swinging. So far, Happ has been able to go up the ladder to a couple of Ranger right-handed hitters and get strikeouts. Elvis and now Robinson Chirinos, 1 gone.
Very similar pitch.
I think you can kind of see in the first 6 hitters why Happ has had better success against right-handers. He's able to use that fastball changeup tandem that he loves to throw more so to right-handers. The left-handers just doesn't have the same quality pitch. The breaking ball is not quite as consistent for him as the changeup is to right-handers. And he won't throw many changeups to left-handed batters. So that reverse splitter, left-handers having better success with kind of goes back to the way Jamie Moyer was, and that's an extreme, but left-handed hitters usually had a better chance of negating that changeup against a guy like Moyer. Here's the breaking ball that couldn't quite hit the outside corner. 2-1 to Rougned Odor. 6 hits, 3 walks, 5 hit by pitches for Rougned. Well, he's been on 14 times this year. Now 5 hit by pitches, by the way, leads Major League Baseball. Rangers as a team have been hit a dozen times. Happ with a 3-1 pitch. Now 3-2. Now Odor trying to get aboard with 1 out here in the second. He'll be followed by the first baseman, Adam Rosales. Payoff pitch. Low ball 4.
Both Odor and Martin laid off that same pitch. 3-2, and both of them aggressive hitters, free swingers, worked patient walks. Yeah, I was looking in the Ranger notes tonight, Buzz. It said actually the Rangers have been hit 13 times.
Oh, 13.
And Kansas City has also been hit 13 times. And according to baseballreference.com, no team in at least the last 100 years had seen 13 hit by pitches over its first 10 games. So it hadn't happened in over 100 years. Now it's happened twice.
Odor tagged out by Miller. Rougned picked clean by Jay Happ. Well, it goes 1-3-6 on the putout. And Jeff Bannister making a little notation in his book down there.
Didn't look like he was going either. He just got surprised. Generally, when you get picked off by that much, you were going on the play, but I don't think he was. So we've had 2 teams hit by 13 pitches in the first 10 games. It hadn't happened in over 100 years, and 2 teams have all done it this year. That's baseball. Well, we had 2 games in Oakland where a hitter for the Rangers, Ryan Rua, struck out. Or no, not Ryan Rua. He was the second day. Who's the Oakland guy that struck out on 12 pitches? Lowry. Brett Lowry, the third baseman, struck out 4 times on 12 pitches. And Ryan Rua almost did it on back-to-back nights.
Yep. Well, a nice short hop pickup by Seager, so it comes down to a 1-2-3 inning after the pickoff. Nothing going for the Rangers. 1.5 in the books. 1-0 Texas. brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The EcoBoost Challenge is on at your Texas Ford dealer. Get to your best in Texas Ford dealer today. Now our old friend Nelly Cruz leading off against Giovanni Gallardo, and Gallardo fires strike one. Cruz leading baseball in home runs, 6 of them in the first 9 games that he has played. It's the most since Barry Bonds had 7 in his first games. Liner to left. Diving is Smolinski, who can't come up with it. It's off him and backed up by Leonis Martin, and Cruz has a base hit. And it looked like Smolinski might have gotten that off his wrist.
It's kind of a jam shot by Nelly Cruz. Giovanni gets the ball in on his fist, looped toward left field. Yeah, I couldn't tell whether it was the ball that hit him or whether his arm got tucked underneath him and twisted his shoulder a little bit. Nah, it looked kind of like he jammed his left shoulder. Hopefully he's okay. Rangers. He's got his glove off his arm, so that's not a real good sign.
No, it isn't. In any event, it's a leadoff single for Cruz. Here's Kyle Seager. Seager, a .229 average. A couple of home runs, 5 driven in. Jake Smolinski trying to gather himself. He's trying to talk himself into having not hurt. Double play ground ball. Elvis goes to the bag on to first. And the 6-3 double play makes it 2 outs and nobody on for the Mariners.
Maybe that's an indication it's going to be a different year for the Rangers against Kyle Seager. Because there weren't many times last year where that kid didn't come through against the Rangers. He had 5 home runs against the Rangers last year.
Yeah, that may be as softly as he's hit a ball against the Rangers in his career.
He tried to fight it off, but he got jammed and couldn't have hit it any easier for Elvis to turn.
Well, the Rangers now with their 13th double play turn. And base is empty for Logan Morrison, who takes strike one.
I just want to finish up on that little thing I was talking about, the unusual things you see in baseball. The Rangers in Oakland, Brett Lowry struck out 4 times in the game on 12 pitches. You don't see a guy strike out 4 times very often, but on 12 pitches, it's very rare. And then Ryan Rua almost did the same thing the next night, 1 pitch away from doing it.
And Giovanni Gallardo has a very quick inning despite the leadoff single. Just 3 hitters involved. After 2, 1-0 Rangers. The series against the Mariners on April 27th through the 29th is a perfect time to check out this renovated space. In 2015, fans will enjoy a newly renovated Cholula porch where they'll get the same great all-you-can-eat menu of grilled chicken sandwiches, hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, peanuts, and soda. Seats start at just $48 and can be purchased at TexasRangers.com. But Jake Smolinski starting things off, so apparently that left hand or left shoulder not too bad for him.
That's good to see.
2-1 the count as he faces Jay Happ, starting off the Ranger third. Texas on top 1-0. Jake with just one hit so far this year. That was in his last game against the Angels. Deep in the hole, long throw, and in time after a good stretch by Morrison.
That's a nice play by Miller, the shortstop, because he fielded that way in the hole, planted, and then still had a little extra on the throw. They call him safe.
No, they called him out, but Hector Ortiz is pointing at the bag like Morrison might have had his foot off the bag.
Oh, they're going to check, and they checked, and they saw that their replay in the clubhouse confirmed the out at first. That's what they were doing. But a very nice play by Miller. Strong throw from deep in the hole. And there's a look at the catch and the foot on the bag. They had Jake wait at first as they checked the replay. It was confirmed.
Good bunt by Leonis Martin, but it's just going to dribble off into foul territory. Kyle Seager there to make sure it stays foul, and Leonis will come back to the plate and try it again.
Yeah, that's one of those bunts by Leonis that the third baseman can anticipate the bunt and soak in the catcher and soak in the pitcher, and if that ball stays fair, they're probably not going to get him. You can see Seager charging, but if that ball was fair, I don't think he could have made a play on that. Adrian might have been able to.
Is that the first time we've seen Leonis bunt since he got the bunt base hit against Casimir? In the third game of the season?
I don't know.
I can't remember him trying to lay down a bunt since then. Maybe he did. Well, he said, "All the heck with it. I'll just bang it right back up the middle and get aboard that way."
Well, you couldn't do any more than he's done the first two times up to try to convince Jeff Bannister that this is the lineup you should stick with. He worked a walk, a patient walk in the first inning, close pitches, and scored. And now he gets a base hit off a lefty up the middle after just missing a bunt attempt. Yeah, and I shouldn't make it sound like Seager's not a good third baseman. He was the Rawlings Gold Glove winner last year at third base.
Yep.
I'm just a little partial toward Adrian making that play. I don't think there's many guys that can make it better than he does.
Here's Elvis. Takes strike one. Elvis went down swinging on 3 pitches his first time up.
Two of the Rangers' great fans, Randy and Claudine Geisel, are here in Seattle tonight. Claudine's retired. Randy says they're going to be traveling a lot watching Ranger baseball, and they want to have a shout out to Lexi Geisel back home. Hello, Lexi.
There goes Martin. The throw to second. Boy, that is right on the sliding Leonis Martin. Great throw by Zunino.
Ty Cobb couldn't have beat that throw. It really didn't matter what kind of a jump you get when the catcher makes a throw like that. You just can't do it any better than that.
No.
That ball, if the shortstop doesn't catch the ball, it would have hit Leonis right in the foot anyway.
Well, Leonis removed from the bases. Caught stealing, and now the count to Elvis Andrus, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, it looked like Leonis Martin had a pretty good jump too.
Yeah, that was just a perfect throw.
Now 2-2. Got caught stealing, by the way. Just the second of the year for the Rangers. They've now been successful 5 out of 7 times. First time that Leonis have been caught this year. High and tight, a 3-2 count to Elvis Andrus. So Elvis trying to prolong this third inning. If he gets aboard, Prince Fielder would hit with a man on. 3-2.
Pretty good curveball right there from him.
Third strikeout of the night. Second time that he has gotten Andrews. The Rangers gone. No runs a hit. And nobody left. After 2.5, Rangers 1, Mariners nothing. College night, university night out in left field. Left center field is jam-packed out there. And a nice crowd on hand otherwise here in Seattle. Dustin Ackley starting off the third inning for the Mariners and takes ball one from Giovanni Gallardo.
You know, if it's college night, that one guy must have been a professor. Either that or he's crashing the party.
Professional student.
Yeah.
Ackley, as Tom mentioned, off to a very good start at .316. He has 3 home runs. They've all 3 been solo shots. Mariners as a team, second in the American League with 14 home runs. And Ackley by the dive of Adrian Beltre into left for a leadoff single. Second straight inning that the Mariners have had their leadoff man aboard. And Mike Zunino will be next. Before we tell you about Zunino, let's take time for a Mazda game break with Rick Renner. Rick? All right, Rick, thank you. Here the Rangers have a 1-0 lead. Mike Zunino off to a slow start with the bat, hitting .133. Into center. Leonis Martin camps underneath it. One gone. Back to first, Ackley. And Brad Miller now will come up. Take a look at our Kubota power stats for the night. Talking about Giovanni Gallardo. First 2 starts this season. 11.17 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's 8th among American League starters. And 6 strikeouts per every walk. That ratio 11th among American League starters. So, you know, Giovanni had said, "Hey, I'm not trying to strike out guys. I'm trying to find ways to get them out more efficiently." And he's reverted a bit in form to what he was a few years ago with Milwaukee.
That first start against Oakland, he only walked 1 in 4 innings, but he threw 89 pitches in 4 innings. So he threw a lot of pitches. Didn't walk a lot of batters though.
Brad Miller, a 172 mark as he starts things off. Pitch up and in to him. And the count moves to 2-0. Robinson Chirinos getting a new baseball for Gallardo. Brad Miller 0 for his last 14 times to the plate. That'll spoil your first couple of weeks of the season. You don't get a hit. It's got to start gnawing on you pretty quickly.
Sure does.
You come out of spring training, all the optimism and feeling great about stuff, and then all of a sudden you get a offer hung on you.
It definitely feels worse at the beginning of the year. It's one thing if it happens in the middle of the season, you see your numbers up on the scoreboard, you don't really notice an 0 for 10. Start of the season, though, you go 1 for 18 or whatever, and you see yourself hitting 0.77. Everybody sees the same thing. Man, I got to go 4 for 4 tonight to get my average up over the Mendoza line.
Yeah. 2-1 the count. Now 3-1.
I remember the Mariner players wearing their pants up to show striped socks before. Ackley has it at first base, and Miller has it at home plate.
And that's the first time I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
That's out of play, and the count has run full.
One thing, in addition to Giovanni throwing a lot of strikes tonight, that has been noticeable is when he's been behind in the count and thrown fastballs, the Mariner hitters really haven't done much with it. Struck out Seth Smith, 3-1, 3-2 fastballs. There was a 3-1 fastball. Miller was late on it.
Gallardo ready for the 3-2. Ackley away from first. He's on the move. The pitch is fouled back. We will reset and try it again. Ackley apparently got in line. Here's that fastball you were talking about, Tom. Right down the middle and fouled straight back. Saw Dustin Ackley. Apparently he had gotten in line for that cap and beard giveaway tonight.
It's such a bad look.
Again, Ackley on the move, and the pitch is low, ball 4. No, 2 aboard for Seattle. The top of the order now coming up with 1 out. First walk issued by Gallardo. Austin Jackson will come to the plate. Ackley at second, Miller at first. Jackson began things by hitting a ball right behind second base that Rougned Odor was able to knock down and throw him out. Austin Jackson, originally drafted by the Yankees out of high school, out of Denton Ryan, went over to Detroit. Had some really good years as Detroit's leadoff man and center fielder. Came over here to Seattle and has been established as the center fielder for the Mariners. In the dirt, Chirinos a nice block. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. If you believe in the importance of starting early, Austin Jackson was named the best 12-year-old in baseball in the country. And then again, the best 15-year-old in baseball, if you trust things like that. One and two.
Takes some pretty good scouting to do that.
Sure does.
I don't know where they're sending their scouts out. But I remember people that had seen him play at that age and talking about him. He was a great athlete.
Yep.
I think back then he was just as good in basketball as he was in baseball.
Right.
Maybe better at the time as a youngster anyway.
Out of play to the right. Yeah, if I remember right, he had more scholarship offers for basketball than for baseball.
Yeah.
Chirinos out to have a chat with Giovanni Gallardo. Gallardo now up to 36 pitches with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. So still a very manageable pitch count for the 29-year-old right-hander. Gallardo, who signed out of Trimble Tech High School in Fort Worth. Set for the 1-2 to Austin Jackson.
Whoa.
Didn't miss by much. Jim Wolf, though, wouldn't ring it up, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, both pitchers have been right around the plate. It has not really been a liberal strike zone either. You had to get the ball in the strike zone to get it called.
To right field, that's a base hit. Ackley had to hold up to make sure it was through, so he stops at third base as Chu gets the ball back in. But with 1 out, the Mariners have the bases loaded, and Seth Smith coming up. Pretty good piece of hitting there by Austin Jackson.
Yeah, he got a call on the pitch before it that one of those pitches could have gone either way. The call went his way instead of Giovanni's way. Now he has to get the ball up, get it in the strike zone, and Jackson puts a nice swing on it. Hits it hard into right field.
Well, 2 hits in the inning and a walk. Seth Smith got ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes his first time up. Gallardo came back with 3 fastballs and got him swinging. Gallardo will work from the stretch and deals strike 1. Smith in his career, .333 with the bases loaded. That's exactly what he has here with Ackley at third, Miller at second, and Austin Jackson at first.
They're throwing so many fastballs that he wasn't ready for something slow. Thought it was another fastball.
Yeah.
Not going to throw this one by me.
That's that big overhand curveball that Gallardo doesn't feature as much as he used to. Smith 0 for his last 9 times to the plate. Down in the count, 0-2. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Smith recently spending time in Oakland and San Diego. Now with the Mariners. Double play ground ball to Odor. He fumbles it. Elvis recovers. Slips on second and fires to first for the double play. How about that?
That was a little too hairy right there. I like it. I like the routine ones better.
Not your normal feed from Odor, but they got it done. 4-6-3. And the Mariners are out. Still trailing 1-0. you to show your pony pride at a Texas Rangers game. Get discounted tickets for the Monday, April 27th game against these Mariners. When the first 1,000 fans with an SMU ticket at the park that night get a free Rangers cap in SMU blue, red, and white colors. Go to TexasRangers.com/SMU for details. Prince Fielder starting things off, and he hits one big hop into the glove of Logan Morrison at first for out number one. Let's go back to that inning-ending double play turned very nicely by the Rangers.
That was a smash that got there in a hurry. Ruge never could get a handle on it, but he shuffled it towards second base, and Elvis picked it up on the ground with his foot on the bag and made the throw to first base. Though it goes down as a 4-6-3 double play, that's all you need to know.
That's right. As long as you have good direction on the bobble, you're in good shape. Yeah, Adrian Beltre, 0 for 1 tonight, a fly ball to center field. Rangers just 2 hits, but Prince Fielder's double, driving home the only run of the game in the first. 1 ball and 1 strike. Adrian now hitless in his last 11 times to the plate after his first inning flyout. Boy, Happ, sneaky fast, I would have to say.
Yeah, he is. He is. It looks like it. In fact, when you watch the ball come in, his nice smooth delivery, it looks like it's going harder than it is. I guess that's what sneaky is.
Beltre, little jam shot pop-up. Morrison makes the grab in foul territory, and that's out number 2. Next will be Shin-Soo Choo. Now, we talked about Jay Happ being a very tall lefter. He's 6'5". He's listed at 205 pounds, although he doesn't look like he's that heavy. He's got long arms. He tried year before last when he was with Toronto to lower his arm angle a bit. Thought that he might be able to get left-handers a little more easily. And he has had that problem with left-handers his entire career, but that didn't work as well. So he's back up to where he normally was. He almost uses a short arm to throw. He's got very quick arm action. And it looks like it's got to look like the hitter, like that ball's coming right out of his ear.
Yeah, it does.
Or shoulder.
I think that's one of the things that makes a guy sneaky is when you can't pick the ball up very well. He does look like he'd be that kind of a guy. And when you can't pick the ball up as well as you can on another pitcher, it makes a 90-mile-an-hour fastball look like maybe a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Just gets on you a little quicker.
1-2 to Choo. Check swing foul. Shin-Soo Choo started his professional career with the Seattle Mariners. Look at that last check swing. Very little time at the major league level here before he went over to Cleveland and really got himself going. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. He appealed down to third base umpire Adrian Johnson. And the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Once Choo went over to the Indians, he found a home. Put him out in right field, and the rest, as they say, is history. 2-hopper to Cano, and that will do it. So the Rangers failed to get a base runner for the first time tonight after 3.5 here at Safeco. Rangers 1, Mariners nothing. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by the Mazda 6. J.D. Power has awarded the Mazda 6 highest ranked vehicle appeal among midsize cars. And one of the myriad ferries between Seattle and parts west across Puget Sound. Robinson Cano, the number 3 man in the Mariners order to start things off here in the 4th. Rangers lead 1-0, and Cano takes a strike. Cano, a strikeout in the first inning. Only 2 strikeouts recorded by Gallardo were Smith and Cano back-to-back in the first. 1-1. Robinson Cano coming over to the Mariners in their effort to rebuild their offense, a 10-year deal before the 2014 season. Odor, jump throw to Rosales, 1 gone. No, Cano is 0 for 2. Now with Nelly Cruz coming up, let's take a look at our Ford leaderboard for tonight. Home runs in the American League this season. Nelly Cruz with 6. 4 for Adam Jones, J.D. Martinez, and Hanley Ramirez. And then 3 for Dustin Ackley and 6 others. Ranger fans, though, will remember seeing Nelly Cruz get hot on one of his hot streaks. And he has homered in 5 straight games. He's had all 6 of his home runs in this 5-game span. Outside corner for a strike to even things up. So folks in Texas not surprised to see that happen. Although I think everybody's a little surprised to see somebody do it with the Mariners. You're not used to seeing guys go on streaks that way anymore with Seattle because primarily this ballpark. Although they've been on the road for the last 5 games.
Yeah, see how he does here.
Yeah. Last 4 games, Cruz 9 for 19 after starting off just 1 for 15.
And Ellie's one of those guys, he could turn the wind around. He can make a big park look like a little park, but there's ones you hit in between that won't go out here.
Hit that one off the end of the bat, but as hot as he is, he found a hole on the right side, so he's 2 for 2.
The first time up, he got jammed and hit that little looping line drive that Jake Smolinski couldn't quite get to. This time it's a pitch on the outside corner, and he cued it right off the end of the bat, spun it into right field.
Well, even though Cruz is 2 for 2 tonight, Gallardo's improving against him. Because he came in, Cruz came into the ball game 2 for 2 against Gallardo, both of them home runs. So he's keeping the ball in the ballpark, and he's not getting him out yet.
A couple of cheap singles instead.
That's right. That's much preferable from a pitcher's standpoint. Here's Kyle Seager. He got jammed by Gallardo first time up and ran it into a 6-3 double play. It's a big curveball from Giovanni. Seager at .222 now with the average. At the University of North Carolina. A ball and a strike. Seven-game hitting streak on the line here tonight for Seager. He's a career .331 average against the Rangers. .351 last year. Last year, Seager was 26 for 74 with 12 runs scored, 3 doubles, 5 home runs, 16 runs driven in. That all in 19 games against the Rangers. Pulled on the ground, Odor to second for 1. The return in time, and Seager has grounded it into 2 double plays. And that does the Mariners in the 4th. No runs a hit, nobody left after 4. 1-0 Rangers. Texas Rangers Triple Play Game Show Spectacular. This year will be a Big Top Bash on Sunday, May 17th at the Hilton Anatole, and proceeds benefit the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation. To purchase tickets or for more information, just visit texasrangers.com/tripleplay or call 817-436-5933. The Rangers have turned a couple of double plays in this ball game, and that has helped out the cause. They have shut out the Mariners through the first four. Robinson Chirinos leading off the Ranger fifth. He wraps one hard but pulls it foul, and the count goes to 0-2. Chirinos, Odor, and Rosales. First three up against J. Happ here in the fifth. Rangers a run on 2 hits against Happ. Chirinos a strikeout as he led off the second inning. Now 1-2. J. Happ 56 pitches thus far, 34 strikes, 22 balls. He has walked one, and when you know it, walked two, I'm sorry. The first one he walked, Leonis Martin, came around to score. Well hit to center field. Going back, Jackson still going back at the wall. Goodbye.
Like we said, no one's going deep tonight to center field.
Robinson Chirinos making liars out of us. Dead center field. Chirinos with his second home run of the year, and the Rangers lead it 2-0.
Now, the last game in Texas, he hit a ball that looked like it might go out to left field and was caught. Then he did hit one out, but he didn't hit either one of them as well as he hit that one. Cool night, fastball out over the plate, and he really gave it a ride. 400 feet to center field.
Well, Robinson Chirinos clocks the 9th home run of the year for the Rangers and gives them a 2-run lead here in the 5th inning, and Rougned Odor coming up.
Robinson takes the home run lead with the Rangers. Everyone's had one. Well, Happ's a fly ball pitcher, and he was hoping that fly ball would stay in the ballpark. Not quite.
Breaking ball into Odor, and it's 0-2. Rougned drew a walk, his first time up there. Cano, little sidearm flip, one gone. Next will be Adam Rosales. Well, I didn't think a ball that high would get out of here.
Yeah, I thought maybe Nelly Cruz might be able to hit one that far.
Yeah.
Maybe Adrian. But, Robinson has shown the last couple of years when he gets a hold of one, he's got some pretty good power, too.
Yes, he does. They moved the fences in here at Safeco Field year before last, and right where that ball went out, about 10 feet closer to home plate. Here's Adam Rosales, who grounded to third his first time. Rosales was not in the starting lineup originally. Originally, Mitch Moreland was going to start and play first base, but Mitch kind of tweaked his elbow the last game on Wednesday at home. Swinging a weighted bat in the on-deck circle, and his elbow kind of tightened up on him. So the Rangers checking that out and being cautious about it, decided to go ahead and have Adam Rosales get the start at first. Jeff Bannister said that he was pretty sure that Moreland would be available coming off the bench tonight. But until the Rangers had a chance to check Mitch out even further, they were not going to start him this evening. A ball and 2 strikes to Rosales. Popped up. Zunino coming back. And he runs out of room. That's back in the 3rd row. In case you thought something looked a little bit different here at Safeco, they have replaced the normal lights with LED lights. This is the first ballpark in the country to employ the LED technology. And of course, there's a cost savings benefit, but the light is noticeably whiter in here.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't notice it till you just said it, though.
Yeah. The LED lights, and they gave us a little fact sheet on it. Almost the same number of lights. There were 579 halide lights in here before. Now there are 578 LED fixtures. That ball's hit well to center field. Rosales gives it a ride. Jackson back at the track and at the wall. This one stays in and goes into Jackson's glove for out number 2.
Well, Adam hit that ball very well. It just wasn't hit far enough to go out of here. It shows you how hard Robinson had to hit his to make it go 10 or 15 feet farther. That's a home run in a lot of ballparks.
Yeah.
On a lot of days. Might be a home run here on afternoon games. Right to the base of the wall tonight. I wonder if these lights will keep balls from going in fielders' eyes better than the old lights will.
Well, I don't know. This is only the 4th game that they've had here under them, so
yeah.
I'm not sure they've been tested that way. They
went
through
pointing in all different directions.
Yeah. Little looper into right center field. Jackson in a hurry, and Austin Jackson able to run it down. Smolinski's gone, so are the Rangers. But Robinson Chirinos, a leadoff home run, gets the Rangers on the board again. Halfway through the ball game, Rangers leading 2-0. Upper box, Lexus Club Terrace, and lower reserve sections are half price when purchased online thanks to Ozarka. Perfect time to take advantage of this great offer is Tuesday, April the 28th. Rangers play these Mariners at Globe Life Park. Get your tickets online at TexasRangers.com/specials using the online coupon code Ozarka. The home run man, Robinson Chirinos, back behind the plate. He is calling a very solid game for Giovanni Gallardo tonight. Gallardo's given up 4 hits, but Rangers have turned 3 double plays behind him.
Yeah, all 3 double plays have come in the hitter directly after a single. The only time it didn't happen was when Ackley led off the 3rd with a single. Other than that, you get a single, next guy's hitting into a double play.
Logan Morrison had a ground ball to short his first time up. Finds himself down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes in this at bat. Gallardo back to him, and Morrison fights it off. Well, we'll give you an AT&T Universe Rewind talking about double plays. Kyle Seager, the first one. That was in the 2nd inning. And in the 3rd inning, this with the bases full. And then it's Seager again. This time a 4-6-3. Pitcher's best friend. Ball and 2 strikes. The count to Morrison. Logan Morrison now 0 for 15 in his career against Giovanni Gallardo. 2-2. Against the Rangers, not a lot of luck either, just 167. Gallardo back to the plate. Over Beltre said he was going to throw his glove at it. He said, nah. Well, another single for the Mariners. Leadoff base hit. Let's go back to the studio and Mazda game break with Rick Renner. Rick? All right, Rick, thank you. 1 on, nobody out. Dustin Ackley takes a strike. Yeah, there's a little bit of bad blood between the A's and the Royals since that wild card game last year.
Yeah.
12-inning Kansas City victory. Ackley a base hit, his first time to the plate. Matter of fact, I believe they almost had a brawl in spring training.
Really?
When they played, yeah. Well, you got to practice those things, just in case. See who's the quickest, getting all the way from the bullpen out to the mound.
Yes, every now and then you have a baseball fight that is really scary, but for the most part, it's just 50 guys out on the field, guys running in from the bullpen, get to shortstop, and back out they go.
Yeah, you got 2 guys that are mad at each other, and the rest of them say, "What's going on?"
Yeah, I guess I got to get in there.
Ackley, like Kyle Seager out of North Carolina. Matter of fact, Ackley was, of those 2 players, the one that was regarded most highly when they were drafted. They were college teammates, went to the College World Series, and Dustin Ackley was going to be the star of those 2. And it hasn't quite turned out that way, although the Mariners feel now that Ackley's starting to mature into the kind of player that they had hoped for. He's just not the infielder that they had hoped for. He's playing in the outfield now. Got him swinging. Gallardo able to get a little extra mustard on that, and his strikeout number 3.
Yeah, Ackley was the 2nd pick in the draft in that season, 2009. And good movement on that pitch. It just tailed away 4 or 5 inches right at the end, and he swung right through it. And a guy like Ackley, if he can play second base where they had him playing a little bit, and you become an impact offensive player, it's a little more dramatic as a second baseman than it is as an outfielder. A lot of outfielders can hit.
Into the hole, Elvis Odor, can he turn it? No. No, just not hit sharply enough, and Logan Morrison was down there in Odor's lap.
Yeah, Logan Morrison's about 2 of Rougned Odor. He slid and kind of came up a little bit. I don't think Rugi could have thrown it over him anyway. But very clean play, good play by Morrison. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, 2 away, and now at first Mike Zunino.
Morrison comes in and kind of comes up on him, and nothing wrong with that. Second baseman will say to himself, next time I'll get the ball in time and come from down under, and you're not going to be able to come up like that.
Brad Miller walked his first time up. That was back in the 3rd inning. Gallardo a check of first. The pitch fouled away. It's 0-2. Brad Miller and the Mariners with 5 base hits through the first 4 2/3, but with the exception of the 3rd inning, when they loaded the bases with 1 out, they have not really threatened. The double plays have pretty much been the story. Couldn't get him to offer it that high fastball. And it's 1-2. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Zunino at first. 2 outs here in the 5th. Little number down the first baseline. Gallardo is going to have to throw around Miller, and he does successfully, and that will do it. Mariners out in the 5th. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left after 5. Rangers leading 2-0 on Fox Sports Southwest. Inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $200 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Jim Frost from Mansfield. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Jim Frost from Mansfield will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And Leonis Martin starting things off. And the appeal down to third. It is a strike as Adrian Johnson, the umpire, said no, he didn't pull the bat back. 0-1. Leonis a single and a walk. 1 for 1 officially tonight. There's a bunt that comes up right behind home plate. And Mike Zunino caught it as he was still standing in foul territory. The ball was still in foul territory. 0-2 now. Rangers have managed only 3 hits against Jay Happ here this evening. A little number right back to the left-hander. 1 gone. Leonis retired. Now Elvis Andrus coming up.
Yeah, fortunately, a couple of the hits have been extra base hits.
Yep.
Prince hit ground ball right down the line for a run, and Robinson's home run. They look like pretty big runs with Giovanni pitching the way he is.
Not even close, I wouldn't think. Of the 3 times we've seen Gallardo throw now, this is by far the best stuff that he's had.
Yeah, I agree.
Austin Jackson got a little bit of a late start. That ball not hit quite as hard as he thought, but time to come in and grab it. 2 gone.
Yeah, Giovanni's gotten better with each start. Struggled with his command in Oakland. Got much better against Houston. He's probably a tick better than that today. So everything's going in the right direction for him.
You changed leagues, Tom, as a player. How difficult an adjustment is that?
I think it's. I think the toughest adjustment for me would be a pitcher coming from the National League to the American League, just because you don't face a pitcher, you face the DH. The DH is usually a guy hitting in the middle of the lineup, so the lineups, it stands to reason, are going to be much tougher. A lot of interleague play right now, which makes it a little bit different. But I think the biggest thing for a hitter going from one league to the other, if you've never been in the other league, is you're just seeing pitchers for the first time, and it's a little bit of an adjustment when you haven't seen them before. You're not comfortable. You know what they throw, but you've never seen it before. It takes you a while to get used to that. But I would think it would be a little bit easier for a pitcher going from the American League to the National League. Still going to throw your game, and you get to face that non-athlete once every 9 batters.
You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
That was just for the heck of it.
Prince Fielder, another rope off the big guy's bat. That's in for a base hit. Cruz able to cut it off before he got to the wall, but Prince Fielder, another multi-hit game.
Boy, it's like a machine.
That's his 7th multiple hit game this year.
I think the biggest difference he's healthy, but the other big difference is last year it seemed like every ball he hit like this, there was someone waiting there to catch it. Now he's hitting these balls and he's finding holes. There's still playing some form of a shift every time, but not that much in that at bat. I got to think, Buzz, with advanced scouting, that one of the things the Mariners came into this series saying is, look, that shift worked before, but he's not that kind of hitter early in the season.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense to go into the shift. He's getting his hits the other way. But they really didn't have a shift at all on that play. Last year, there would have been someone, a second baseman, playing right down the right field line waiting for that ball.
Adrian Beltre takes a strike. It's 1-1.
But it's also, if that's in fact what happened, and it would seem like it is, it's a good example of a hitter can change his fortune. Instead of bemoaning the fact that they're playing a shift, change things a little bit and make them go back the other way.
Sure.
You'll open up some holes for yourself.
Ooh, boy, Adrian fouling that pitch back. He was right on that. And angrily knocking the mud out of his cleats. Fielder at first. 2 outs here in the Rangers' 6th inning. Beltre trying to pick him up. Check a fielder at first, the 1-2. Off the end of the bat, Cano. Sidearm, swing it over to first. That'll do it. Rangers get a 2-out single, but Fielder left stranded. We finished 5.5 at Safeco Field. It's the Rangers 2 and the Mariners nothing. You can do so with a behind-the-scenes ballpark tour. Get an up-close look at the press box, batting cages, the dugouts, and a lot more. Tours are just $14 for adults, and discounts are available for kids and seniors and students. Purchase your ballpark tour at texasrangers.com/tours. Well, Yovani Gallardo back to the hill. He will face the top of the Mariners order, Austin Jackson, leading off here in the 6th inning. Rangers on top 2-0. And Austin Jackson taking a strike to even the count. Jackson, a base hit in 2 trips. He was grounded out, single to right field. Hapkin out of play. 1-2. Gallardo getting ready to throw his 74th pitch of the night. Very economical this evening for the right-hander. Couldn't get Austin Jackson to go fishing. Inning by inning, the 3rd inning, when the Mariners loaded the bases before the double play, 21 pitches. Other than that, it's been pretty low pitch counts for Gallardo. We'll try the 2-2 again. We mentioned the Mariners, one of the 4 remaining teams in major leagues that Gallardo had not faced. He has now faced them. So just Tampa Bay and the White Sox and the Angels are left on his list to scratch off. And with the start here tonight, he'll start one of the games in Arizona. And if he starts the first one, he would pitch in Anaheim. Another 2-2. Another foul ball. Gallardo reading the signs as Jackson awaits. Got him on the fist. A little weak one hopper to Elvis. Guns the throw in time. 1 gone. Nice pitch by Gallardo to get in on Austin Jackson.
You know, last year when Elvis came to spring training, he hadn't thrown very much. His arm bothered him in spring training. It bothered him off and on throughout the season. But even though he made some errors early in the year, he's throwing the ball much better this year than he was last year. Not that this is anything but a routine play for him. A little more life on his throws this year than he did last year.
The 1 gone. Now Seth Smith will step in. Smith is struck out and grounded into a double play. A little tapper. Good Gallardo handles. 2 gone. Very quick and tidy with that at bat. Next will be Robinson Cano. The Mariners on this just completed road trip for them lost 3 in a row to the Dodgers, so they come home kind of limping back to Seattle. I mentioned the problems that the pitching staff had. 14th in the American League with a 5.16 ERA coming in. Pitching has not been their problem tonight. The offense has been pretty well handcuffed by Gallardo. Cano 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of those pitches that are balls, he's not missing by much. He's trying to hit his spots, and some of them are just a little bit outside. There's one maybe a couple inches outside. The good thing is when he's missing away from the plate, not
right
toward the middle of the plate.
Now 2-1 to Cano.
Try with his slider.
And this is a case when you have 2 outs and you have Nelson Cruz, who is extremely hot in the on-deck circle. You don't do it very often, but you want to make Robinson Cano swing the bat right here. You don't want to walk him to get on.
2-1 game.
that big cutter slider, the hybrid that Gallardo uses. Into the windup for the 2-2 pitch. And normally you'd do anything except want Robinson Cano to swing the bat. I mean, he's not the kind of hitter you would do that to. But given the option, I think you'd make Cano, when he can't be the tying run, swing the bat.
Yep.
Nelson Cruz can. And he is extremely hot. Chirinos flashing out the signs, and Gallardo agrees.
That's getting jammed right there.
Yeah. Cano wishing he hadn't swung the bat, because that one is going to go into the kindling pile. 3 up, 3 down. Mariners gone on the 6th after 6. Rangers on top 2-0. With the RBI double, Leonis Martin, the Headford slide. Then Robinson Chirinos left the yard, and he left it in the big part of the yard. His second home run of the year, and Giovanni Gallardo, meanwhile, has made it stand up. He's gotten 3 double plays and 3 strikeouts, and all of them left-handed hitters that he has struck out. And Chirinos and Gallardo making it stand up very, very nicely tonight.
And one thing, Buzz, it seems like Giovanni is throwing more fastballs tonight than he did in the first 2 starts. All 3 of those strikeouts looked like came on fastballs.
Shin-Soo Choo with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, I think you're right, Tom. I think this is the kind of a night, if you're feeling pretty good about yourself, you can feel very strong on a night like this. It's a cool evening, and once you get loose, shouldn't have any problem staying loose. It's not cold.
No, it's a perfect night to pitch, to play. There's no wind, and what's cool to us sitting here is probably feels great to them down in the field.
Sure. Chu rifles one into the glove of Logan Morrison. Boy, Shin-Soo, that's maybe as hard as he's hit a ball in the last few days.
Yeah, a little bit higher, and that rattles the corner for at least a double. Well hit ball by Shin-Soo.
Morrison in the right spot, able to glove that one away for Robinson Chirinos. Robinson 1 out of 2, hit that solo home run to dead center his last time up. Chirinos now at a .211 average. He's the team leader with 6 RBI. A 1-1 from Happ. Looking back over the last several years for Robinson, his numbers, and we've talked about him becoming a full-time catcher. He actually did it a little bit sooner than I thought. It was 2009 when he made the determination he was going to try and be a full-time catcher. And his offense suffered a little bit early, but once he got comfortable with the transition, it's become better to the point where last year he set new career highs for himself in almost every category. He's going to have extra bases. Here it looks like Ackley over to cut it off. Chirinos digging for 2, and he's in with a stand-up double. Well, Chirinos, a home run, now a double. He is a 2-for-3 night going. And Rougned Odor will try and pick him up.
He got a breaking ball this time. Curveball stayed up inside part of the plate. Might have gotten it a little bit off the handle. But he hit it down the line hard enough to where Ackley couldn't get to it to keep him from getting a double.
That is the 5th base hit of the night for the Rangers, and Robinson Chirinos has 40% of them. Rougned Odor 0 for 1, a walk and a ground ball to second. Rougned a 182 average. You mentioned that 182, though, a little bit deceiving because of the number of times that he's been on base without a hit. He did that again tonight, that second inning walk. He didn't miss that by much.
I guess not.
Cruz in right field, circling underneath it. Chirinos tags, bluffs a move, but not going anywhere with 2 outs now. And Rougned kind of mutter under his breath as he goes back to the dugout.
Well, as a hitter, that's just a frustrating at bat because you know you got a good pitch to hit. You know you took your best swing. You hit it on the good part of the bat. You just got a little bit underneath it. And the hang time he had on that one, if he leveled it off just a little bit, there would have been no doubt about it. A hanging slider. He put a big swing on it.
Yes, he did. Rougned doesn't get cheated. He lets it fly. Well, 2 outs now. Adam Rosales, who's grounded out and flied out, will step to the plate. He takes ball 1. The 1 hit for Rosales this year, a home run. Have that in Wednesday afternoon's ball game. He has Chirinos out there at second, trying to pick him up. That home run for Rosales, by the way, against the Angels, snapped an 0 for 24 drought that went back to last year. That had been the longest active hitless streak in Major League Baseball. But a thing of the past for Rosales. Now Happ and Zunino can't get together on the next pitch. Chirinos just out of your picture on the bottom of your right hand, away from second. 2 balls and a strike. Echo pitch tracker showing you Happ really intent on keeping that ball down, and Zunino had to go down to both knees to block that last one. 2-1 pitch coming from Happ. That will even the count. And for the first time tonight, a little bit of action out in the Mariners bullpen. Yoerkis Medina up and loosening.
95th pitch coming up for J.A. Happ.
Happ a check of second. Got Rosales on the fist, and Adam able to fight it off back into the seats. Remember, Rosales had a real slow start to the spring, but came on the last 2 weeks of camp to hit .364. And if there was any doubt about who was going to be the utility infielder, that removed it. Kind of won that competition going away. Count runs full. Torino staying at second. Rosales trying to get aboard to join him. Jake Smolinski, the number 9 man of the Ranger order, waits to be next. Rosales pinwheeling that back around, and now Zanina going to go out and see what's going on with Jay Happ. Robinson after the 1-out double, still at second base. Rosales trying to bring him home. Rangers leading 2-0 here in the 7th inning. Payoff pitch. Popped him up. Over Morrison, and the ball backing out of play. Both Zunino and Morrison over there. And we'll try it again. Maybe a little more foul territory here than normal for the newer parks, but still not exactly spacious. Certainly not like Oakland.
Nowhere's like Oakland.
Happ sets one more time. Up the middle, knocked down by Happ. A little underhand after the recovery, and Rosales gone. So are the Rangers. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left. Stretch time in Seattle with the Rangers leading the Mariners 2-0. The Rangers all season in 2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Nelly Cruz starting things off for the Mariners here in the 7th inning. And this is where you like to see Cruz leading off an inning when you have a 2-run lead. Gallardo has allowed 5 hits, 2 of them to Cruz. They've been fairly soft singles by Nelly standards.
Yeah, 3 of the hits have been soft singles. Ackley's as well. A couple of the ground balls, double plays were hard hit balls, though. Fortunately, Rudy was able to get to both of them and turn them. Those were actually hit harder than most of the hits. Hardest hit was, let's see, Jackson hit one hard into right field.
Haven't been many of them.
No.
2 balls, 2 strikes now.
Morrison had a blooper. I guess Ackley hit his okay. But so far, Giovanni's been in command of this ball game. Only 1 walk in the game. He's walked 1 batter in each of his first 2 games as well.
Gallardo to the wind, the 2-2. Skied down the right side, twisting. And that will be back and out of play. Cruz second now on the list of Mariners all time as far as consecutive games with a home run. Ken Griffey Jr. has the Mariner record and ties for the major league record of 8 consecutive games. Right now, Cruz, Zisk, A-Rod, and Jay Buhner all homered in 5 straight. That's low and in. The count is now full. Cruz leading off the 7th. He'll be followed by Kyle Seager. Pitch number 92 coming up for Giovanni Gallardo. And Cruz 3 for 3. And now 5 for 5 against Gallardo in his career.
Well, he hit that one hard. That looked like a hanging slider. And he got the good part of the bat on that one.
So 1 on, nobody out. Kyle Seager coming up. We're going to take time for a Mazda game break. Here's Rick Renner. Thank you, Rick. Nice to see Trout do that against somebody else besides the Rangers.
I bet you there were pitches down and out over the plate.
I would bet too. Here's Seager, who tonight has followed up 2 Cruz singles with double play grounders, and he's trying for the trifecta. John Tolleson up and loosening, and in case you missed it, Tanner Scheppers is active now, and he is out in the Ranger bullpen also. Well, the Rangers adding to that quality depth in the bullpen, late inning depth. Along with Sean Tolleson, Keone Kela, and Tanner Scheppers now to get the bullpen to Neftali Feliz. High and outside, 2-0. Seager hit a jam shot to short his first time for a double play. Last time up, hit the ball fairly hard, but pulled it to Odor, who started the 4-6-3. Will slice out a play down the left side. 2-1. T-Mobile game changer tonight. Indeed, Kyle Seager. Since the start of 2013, a 377 average. How about a 1,116 OPS? That's on base plus slugging for Kyle Seager. That's unheard of. Another foul ball. 2-2. Giovanni Gallardo has done a very good job tonight after base hits. He has gotten the ground balls, kept it down, and Cruz has started off an inning for the 2nd time now with a single. Rangers looking for 1 more ground ball from Seager. Big curveballs just off the plate. The count is full. Seager hitting 5th in the order. Trying to get aboard. Logan Morrison will be next. Gallardo okays to sign a check of Cruz. He's on the move. The pitch is foul tip.
Just getting a piece of it. Giovanni's still throwing hard, 92 miles an hour. Still challenging the hitters with his fastball. Nelly Cruz hit a hanging slider, so no one's really gotten a hold of his fastball in this game.
Gallardo with a new baseball back on top of the hill. Cruz inching off the bag at first. 3-2 with nobody out in the 7th inning. Again, Cruz on the move. The pitch is outside, ball 4. And there are 2 aboard now for Logan Morrison. First time tonight that Giovanni Gallardo really has lost command of the strike zone like that. And noting that, Jeff Bannister is on his way to the hill. Has Sean Tollison out there if he wants him, and the signal goes out. They want Sean Tollison to come on. So Gallardo will go 6 innings plus 2 hitters here in the 7th. He will leave leading 2-0. And 2 runners on base are his responsibility. So Sean Tollison coming on. We'll take a timeout from Safeco. We're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Six hits, no runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. However, the 2 men on base, Cruz and Seager, his responsibility. And the 26-year-old right-hander Sean Tollison is now on the hill.
A solid game for Giovanni and a great opportunity for Sean Tollison to come into a tough part of the game and shut down the Mariners. Rangers need that to happen in this close of a ball game. Nobody out, 2 men on. Critical point in the game for Sean.
Well, Tollison hasn't worked since the 12th, the last game of the Houston series. He worked in every game in that Houston series. So he's had 4 days off and on here, asked to get Logan Morrison. Numbers for Tollison, he has yet to give up any runs. 4 innings of work, just 1 hit. First pitch to Morrison is a little bit inside and low for ball 1. Morrison tonight a single and a ground down. 1 for 2. 188 the average for Morrison. He is 0 for 2 in his career against Sean Tollison. And that is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Nelson Cruz getting the lead from second. He's trailed by Kyle Seager at first. You saw the numbers for Seattle Mariners, just 218 with runners in scoring position. That's out of play on the third base side.
Both those first two pitches were very close to being strikes, right at the bottom of the strike zone. Borderline pitches, not called strikes. You got to come back from a 2-0 count.
Our Echo pitch tracker showing you, as Tom said, those first two pitches right at the bottom of what could have been strike zone. 2-1 pitch. Now 3-1. Well, Sean Tolleson working himself into a little bit of a hole to Logan Morrison. Morrison hitting sixth.
But all three of those pitches are the exact same height. Not high enough to get a called strike, but consistently called a ball.
Yep.
Not like one of them was called a strike and two of them weren't. They were all called balls.
Pop foul. That will be back and into the seats.
Good fastball, 94. Morrison jammed a little bit.
So Morrison facing Tolleson. Yovani Gallardo, a very interested spectator now. Keeping an eye on things from the top rail of that Ranger dugout. Tolleson peering in for the sign, has the one he wants. To right. Nice play by Rosales. They'll get one. But boy, what a save by Adam Rosales.
I'll say. Looked like he threw him a 3-2 changeup. Morrison got out in front of it. Looked off the bat like that ball was headed to right field for at least one run. But a beautiful play and a force out at second. Keeps the double play in order. It's a high changeup right in his wheelhouse. Fortunately, he's a little bit out in front of it. Hit it toward the end of the bat. A nice play by Adam. And the Rangers can get out of the inning to get another ground ball right here.
Well, one out now. Cruz at third. Morrison at first. Dustin Ackley, who is 1 for 2, steps to the plate. Ackley 0 for 1 against Sean Tolleson. Makes the first pitch in at the knees for strike one. Ackley's single came leading off the third inning. He struck out in the fifth inning. Mariners at the corners as Tolleson sets. Pretty vocal crowd. It's not too far away from capacity here at Safeco.
Yeah, they're sitting in every corner of the stadium. A few empty seats in between. One of the biggest crowds we've seen here in a long time.
And Ackley now down on the count. No balls, 2 strikes.
2 good fastballs to get ahead in the count. If Sean throws him a changeup right here, he wants to make sure it's not belt high like the one to Morrison.
Yeah. I think after that swing on the fastball, you might be doing him a favor throwing him a changeup for a strike.
You might. You can't go wrong if you bust him in with a good fastball.
Yep. Rangers a double play depth looking for that ground ball. Well, that's exactly what he tried to do. Get him up and in with that fastball. And maybe he'll set the stage for a changeup. We'll see. Gallardo talking with Carlos Corcoran over there saying, well, here's what we did. Sean set. The toss to first will drive Morrison back. Tolleson doing a good job of inciting the crowd, getting them upset.
This crowd really gets upset about throws to first base.
They do.
Usually you hear a smattering of boos, not 40,000 of them. They don't even like it when the catcher goes out to the mound.
No.
Guy's booing like crazy, but he's laughing.
Folks, a little pent-up anger over the Seahawks loss in the Super Bowl. One ball and 2 strikes. Tollison nods in agreement and sets. Another foul ball. Well, Ackley hanging tough. Our Echo pitch tracker. Tony Ackley having to reach out to slap that last pitch foul. Protecting the plate. Another 1-2. Got him swinging. Perfect. Got that in under his hands, and Ackley couldn't get the head of the bat to it. A big strikeout for Sean Tollison. 2 away, and Zunino coming up.
You look at the last 2 pitches. One was a fastball about 2 or 3 inches outside, and he got a little bit of a piece of it. Now he comes back in on the other side of the plate and pounds that fastball up and in. Perfect pitch, exactly where he was trying to throw it, and a good combination after the one before. You can see 4 on the outside part of the plate and pitch number 5 right up and in. Exactly what he tried to do.
Mike Zunino 0 for 2 tonight. He's reached on a fielder's choice and flied out, and that fastball just right on by him.
Zunino has some power, but he's a little bit strikeout prone. Last year he walked 17 times and struck out 158 times. But he also juiced 22 home runs, so you have to make good pitches on him. He can hit a mistake.
Dawson missing high and away. That evens things now, 1-1.
Talking about Ackley was the 2nd pick in the 2009 draft. Zunino was the 3rd pick, 1st round, just like Ackley in the 2012 draft.
Chirinos crossed up on that. Robinson coming out of his crouch very quickly, like he thought a fastball was coming where that height was. Watch Chirinos bounce up. There it is up there. Oh, I got it. Oh. Caught it about chest high. 2-1 the count. There goes Morrison, and the pitch is fouled back. That'll even the count and send Morrison back to first base. Morrison not really a base stealing threat, but apparently he figured he had read Tollison and had a good enough jump that he could go ahead and move into scoring position himself. Chirinos now giving the defensive signals to the infield as to what they'll do with the throw. You have Cruz at 3rd and Morrison over at 1st. The 2 outs, the infielders need to know if you're going to throw through, if Morrison takes off again, or what exactly you're going to do. Another 2-2 on the way. Got him swinging.
Well, that's some pitching right there.
Boy, Tollison gets a ground out and 2 punch outs and a little fist bump from Yovani Gallardo. 2 left for the Mariners. Will go to the 8th inning. Rangers 2, Seattle nothing. a weekend series here at Safeco Field tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Time, then Sunday afternoon. A day off on Monday, and then 2 with the Diamondbacks down in Arizona. Another off day on Thursday. Then the Angels next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, before coming back home to host these Mariners. That's a great pitching by John Tolleson, the hat beard, or beard hat, whichever way it goes. Not doing the trick for the Mariner fans so far tonight. John Tolleson getting that job done, coming in relief, and a big couple of strikeouts for Tolleson. Now the Mariners go to their bullpen. Yoervis Medina, hard-throwing right-hander, will come on.
And Medina's had a couple of nice seasons for the Mariners out of their bullpen. ERA's under 3, strikeout per inning.
And with Medina on the mound, Carlos Peguero, a former Mariner, will come in as a pinch hitter. Pinch hitting for Jake Smolinski, and Peguero takes strike 1. Peguero hitting .385 in this young season. Foul back, 0-2. Peguero up and down 3 different years with the Mariners. You get a look at the Ranger bullpen. Speaking of being up, Tanner Schember's getting ready to come in and work the 8th inning. 0-2 to Carlos Peguero. Carlos spending 4 seasons with the Mariners and 1 last year with Kansas City part of the year. Takes that breaking ball from Medina to even the count. Peguero had a couple of seasons in the minor leagues, including last year, that he had 30 or more home runs. I guess the Mariners finally said he's enticed us enough. He couldn't carry it over to the big leagues, and they let him go. Rangers hoping that he will be another Nelson Cruz as far as being a late bloomer with that power. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Peguero pinch hitting for Smolinski. Yoervis Medina throws called 3rd strike. Breaking ball caught the inside corner, and Peguero tied up.
Yeah, definitely a strike. I think on the 3-2 pitch, he was probably anticipating a fastball. Medina dropped that breaking ball in on the inside corner.
That takes the Rangers back to the top of the order for Leonis Martin, who is 1 for 2. A single and a walk tonight. He scored one of the 2 Ranger runs. And Medina fires strike 1. Martin 0 for 3 in his career against Yoervis Medina. Playable into foul territory goes Kyle Seager. 2 gone. Next will be Elvis Andrus. We mentioned tomorrow night we'll be with you at 8 o'clock Central Time. Felix Hernandez will go on the hill despite being a little bit sore. Got a bad ankle and bad quad, but he's going to feel good enough to pitch. And Colby Lewis in a battle of right-handers for you. Elvis 0 for 3 tonight. Andrus 1 out of 6 against Medina. And 1 hit, a double. He's also walked once. Medina, fellow native Venezuelan for Elvis. 26-year-old. Made his major league debut in 2013 with the Mariners. Appeared in 63 ball games that year. Last year was in 66 games. One pitch on the way. Medina originally signed by the Mariners back in 2005. Non-drafted free agent. Now the 2-1. Hit well to center field. Jackson going back, reaches up and can't get it. It's over his head. And a couple of hops to the wall, steaming into second base with a 2-out double is Elvis Andrus. Elvis gave a pretty good charge to that ball.
I think it's one of the hardest hit balls he's ever hit. He's hit a few home runs. Most of the home runs Elvis hits, he gets out in front of a ball and hits it to left field. That's a fastball up and out over the plate. And usually when Elvis hits a ball really solidly in the air, the center fielder runs it down. And Jackson's a pretty good center fielder, but he launched that ball right over his head.
Took no time at all to get over Jackson's head in center.
I don't remember ever seeing him hit a ball to center field harder than that.
I agree with you. Lloyd McClendon out, and that's going to do it for Yoeris Medina with Prince Fielder coming up. They want Charlie Furbush, the left-hander, to come on. So we'll take another timeout here at Safeco. Rangers again, something going, this time in the 8th inning. 1 on and 2 out. We are back to Safeco right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Right back here at 8 o'clock tomorrow night Central Time. And it's always fun when Adrian Beltre and Felix Hernandez face each other. Something's going to happen. They're going to laugh. Felix, though, has not allowed Adrian to get under his skin last year. We'll see if Adrian has some new tricks up his sleeve for his former teammate.
Yeah, last year Felix was a lot more serious.
Yeah.
Adrian couldn't get him going last year.
Well, Charlie Furbush, the left-hander, situational left-hander coming out of the Mariners bullpen. He's asked to face Prince Fielder with Elvis Andrus at second and 2 outs. And Prince, a wave at that sweeping slider.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch to a left-hand hitter. Big breaking ball, just keeps on breaking. It's not that hard when it hangs. If it stays on the inside part of the plate, then it's a home run pitch. But when it ends up there, 6 inches outside, then it's very tough. We're all the way through the strike zone and out of it.
Harder variety of that breaking ball. It's in the dirt, and a nice stop by Zunino. Elvis staying at second. The fielder has had 5 matchups previously against Charlie Furbush and has 1 base hit and 3 strikeouts. So it's either maybe he's gotten the hanger one time and hasn't gotten it the other times. Prince tonight, a 2 for 3 evening. You see he's doing some damage with runners in scoring position.
Good fastball, good swing.
Yeah, that's the one he wanted right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a good swing at it, boy.
We never saw a Prince fielder take a swing like that last year.
No, I don't think we did.
I don't think he could.
No.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count. And Furbush, an inside move to just check on Elvis. I think what that move tells you that Furbush really didn't want to make the pitch that he okayed. So a little doubt crept in his mind, so he thought he'd bluff a throw to second.
Regroup.
Yeah. Zunino again having to scoot to his left to make a nice stop. 2-2. Furbush originally came up with the Tigers. He was their 4th round pick in 2007 out of LSU. On now with a runner at second base. And the pitch is wide. On to third base goes Elvis Andrus as Zunino couldn't get out there enough to keep that from getting away from him.
He kept throwing them out there. Finally threw one far enough away where Zunino couldn't catch it. Zunino's doing a nice job blocking the ones he could get to. That one just too far out in front of the plate and too far to Zunino's left. Did a nice job just to block it.
Yeah. Yeah, the other ones, you're right, we're closer to him, so he could at least get his body out in front of it.
That might limit what Furbush decides to throw right here.
3-2 the count. Payoff pitch. Ball 4. It was in the dirt, but Zunino kept that in front of him, and a pretty well-earned walk by Prince fielder. Granted, he didn't get the run home, but he kept the line moving and gives Adrian Beltre a chance, and Beltre will not face Charlie Furbush. McClendon out again. He's going to make a call to the bullpen for the right-hander. So Furbush asked to get Prince fielder, could not do it, lost him on a walk. He will leave with Rangers at the corners and 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Another pitching change underway at Safeco Field. We are back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Mariners. He takes over after Charlie Furbush could not get the left-hander, Prince Fielder. Leon inheriting runners at the corners with 2 outs. This is his second game of the year. Worked 2 1/3 innings with a couple of walks. He will face Adrian Beltre. Beltre 1 for 2 against Leon in previous matchups. Adrian tonight 0 for 3, a fly out, a pop out, and a ground out. Now runners at first and third. Elvis Andrus over at third. And Prince Fielder, the runner at first. Leon's first pitch in the dirt. Boy, Zunino.
He's pretty good back there,
yes,
blocking
he is.
those things.
He is picking everything right and left. Adrian, a little hot foot going. 1 ball, no strikes. We'll even the count. Dominic Leon with runners at first and third. Leon out of Clemson University. He was teammates there with the shortstop Brad Miller. Misses low, and Beltre now the advantage in the count at 2-1. Leon not a big guy at 5'11", 210 pounds. Right-hander, a check of the runners. Beltre, a line shot to the right at Seager.
Hardest hit ball of the night right there.
Well, the Rangers get a hit and a walk and Strand 2. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. It remains the Rangers 2 and the Mariners nothing. And for the first time this year, we get a look at the 8th inning man for the Rangers. Tanner Shepard just activated from the 15-day disabled list. He was on the disabled list since the end of spring training with that right ankle sprain. Made 3 rehab appearances at Frisco. Went 2 2/3 shutout innings. Carlos Peguero remains in the ballgame after pinch hitting for Jake Smolinski. He's playing left. Tanner Shepard's facing Brad Miller to start things off. Miller, Jackson, and Smith. First 3 Mariners do here. Good fastball from Shepard. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Mariners have swung through a lot of fastballs in this ball game. From Giovanni, Sean Tollison, and now one from Tanner Shepard.
That is out of play, and Shepard's going up the ladder as far as velocity. 93, 94, 95. Can't wait till he gets to the second hitter.
Can't wait till the ninth inning. 114.
1-2 pitch. Line to the gap in the right center. That is down, and it splits the outfielder. Miller at second hangs on there with a leadoff double. Miller able to get the head of the bat through that one. Fastball that stayed in the middle of the plate. And that's how the eighth inning begins.
Yeah, good swing right there by Miller. He swung through the first one, but he hit that one hard. You can see it come back toward the middle of the plate. Tanner's trying to get that down a little bit. Got it up. But at the other hand, you still have to give Miller some credit. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And nice quick swing. He got the bat through there and hit it hard.
Well, 7 hits now for the Mariners. Austin Jackson has one of those 7 hits. That was a third inning single off of Giovanni Gallardo. He looks at strike one. See the career matchups against Tanner Scheppers. Austin Jackson 1 for 2 with a home run. Pretty well hit to center field, but room out there for Leonis Martin. Tagging at second, Miller. Here comes the throw from Leonis, and not quite in time, but closer than what a lot of people thought it was going to be.
Closer than Miller thought it was going to be. If he threw that ball another few feet and it landed right on top of third base, he might have had him.
Former Rangers coach Rich Donnelly over there, the third base coach for the Mariners.
Just too far to throw it to get him.
Yep.
Well, the Rangers pitched out of a couple of jams tonight. Man on third base and less than 2 outs a couple of times. Going to have to try and do it again right here.
Seth Smith, the designated hitter up there, 0 for 3 tonight. Twice he has grounded out, once a strikeout. 1 ball and no strikes. Smith 0 for 4 against Tanner Scheppers in their previous matchups. Infield playing back. They will give up the run for the out. Tanner missing badly up and away. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Smith has struck out in half the at-bats that he's had against Scheppers. 2 of them. But now hitting with count leverage at 2 balls, no strikes. Now 2-1. Tanner Scheppers turned 28 this past January. Remember last year, the opening day starter for the Rangers, and all kinds of problems ensued. Fly ball center. This might be something good. Miller's tagging at third. Here comes the throw from Leonis Martin. The tag too late. Just a little bit too deep, and Seth Smith with the sacrifice fly. It's down at 2-1 for Rangers.
Well, that's just a case of being a little bit too deep and too much speed at third base. You've got a slower runner at third base. They're going to try to score him anyway. And a slower runner might have been gunned down on that throw. Strong throw, just too far to throw it.
Well, the base is empty now with 2 away. Robinson Cano. Cano 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout. Changeup floats outside for ball 1. Cano 1 for 2 against Scheppers with a home run in his career. 2-0. Tanner with pretty good velocity tonight, but as you would figure, first outing, a little bit of rust on the command. Trying to knock that off. Leonis Martin will have to play it on a hop. And the Mariners have the tying run aboard with Nelson Cruz coming up. Get together on the mound with Beltre and Chirinos, Sheppers, Andrews, and Odor. Keone Kela starting to loosen in that Ranger bullpen. And now Mike Maddox is going to go out. Give Kela a little more time to get loose. And he will speed things up a little bit out there. Talking about Keone Kela. Mike Maddox always going out there with a positive message, and also a message of, okay, whatever has happened, it's happened. Now what are we going to do with this next guy? And this next guy happens to be the major league leader in home runs at the moment, Nelson Cruz.
Well, the good thing is if you get Nelly Cruz right here, it just means that Neftali won't have to face Cano and Cruz in the ninth inning.
Yeah.
But it's been tough to get him out lately. 3 for 3 in the ballgame.
Season average at .351 for Cruz. A hostile crowd on throws to first base.
They just don't like that at all.
And Shepard starts him off with a hook for strike one.
Yeah, watching from the sideline, there's no way you could be ready for that pitch. It's been almost all fastballs.
Cruz with 3 singles tonight. 2 to left, 1 to right. Another breaking ball, and that one hangs high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nelson Cruz, 6-year member of the Rangers. Another breaking ball. That hangs up high. It's 2-1. Well, as hot as Cruz is, he's not going to miss a hanging breaking ball if it's down a little bit. Make sure you locate that breaking ball a little bit better than what Tanner is doing right now. 2-1 pitch. Towering fly ball to the left. That's going to stay in the ballpark. Figueroa waiting for it to come down, makes the catch, and that will do it. And everybody in the Ranger dugout can take a breath in relief. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 left. On to the 9th. 2-1 Rangers. 8th inning. Get out of the 8th inning with the lead. It's still Rangers on top in this game. 2-1 now the count. A lot of talk in that dugout about pitches close to being hit out of the ballpark. Jeff Bannister and Steve Buechele. You know, that pitch that Nelly Cruz flied out on, it had that sound. Unfortunately, it was way up in the air.
Yeah, he just barely got underneath it. But, you know, earlier in the game, Rugi just got underneath one.
Yeah, that's right.
Adrian had that line shot last inning with a couple of men on base right at the third baseman. But the Rangers sure would feel good about getting a run here or two here in the 9th inning.
Shin-Soo Choo starting things off against Dominic Leone. Here's Nelly Cruz, and here's that last pitch to him.
He had home runs in 5 straight games, but not so far in this game.
Two balls and a strike to Choo. 0 for 3 tonight, a fly out, a ground out, and a line out. And he hit that line drive to Logan Morrison. He smoked it last time. 3-1 now the count.
Nino's still picking him behind home plate. That ball, he caught that right in the middle of his glove.
Neftali Feliz. How about his career against the Mariners? He has not given up a run. He's given up 7 hits in 26 innings. And ball 4. Leone issues the leadoff walk. The Rangers looking for a little bit of insurance. Get Choo aboard to start things off. And Robinson Chirinos will be next. Chirinos, a big night, a double and a home run. 2 for 3, hitting .250 now for the season. Leone check of first.
So, Zunino must have blocked 10 balls in the last 2 innings. He's shifting in all directions to do it, too.
He had Furbush, the left-hander, chasing him toward the third base dugout, and Leone's chasing him toward the first base dugout. Hector Ortiz over there to help Shin-Soo Choo look across the diamond, read the signs from Tony Beasley. 1 ball, no strikes to Robinson Chirinos. A little quicker move that time.
That was a little closer, too.
That's why you go to the backside of that bag and go to the front part of the bag. That time, Choo is probably out. Now Leone ready once again. Now that Choo's seen how quick his feet are, he's not going to get quite as carried away. Like they're reading a novel, suspense novel over there with Hector Ortiz and Shin-Soo Choo. Second to get 1. The return is in time for the double play. And just like that, Jeff Bannister out of the Ranger dugout. He said, okay, hang on a second now. The way the challenge is issued, and it was just issued. And Jeff Bannister says, I want you to take a look at that. It's going to be a challenge.
Going to win that one, it looks like.
I believe you're right. First base umpire Adam Hamari punching out Robinson Chirinos, but I think that's going to be reversed. The appeal issued by Jeff Bannister is for the out call at first base. The crew chief Bill Miller And Adam Amari will get the headsets on and check with the replay command center in New York. Get the official ruling on this.
The Mariners did a nice job to make it that close on a slowly hit ball. Cano has a strong arm at second base. I think Jeff Bannister's going to win that challenge, unless there's something wrong with our eyes.
Well, that's possible.
I guess that's possible.
Yeah.
And still win the challenge.
And the umpires, it didn't take very long. The call from New York says, nope, got to overturn that. He is safe at first base. No, Robinson Chirinos will remain at first. He's there with one out. That call overturned. So the skipper, along with Steve Buechele, who relays the information from Joey Probinski, who's looking at the replays upstairs. They team up.
There it is. There's
For a successful
perfect
challenge.
Shot.
So instead of bases empty and 2 outs, you have Robinson Chirinos at first with 1 out. Rougned Odor stepping to the plate. Took 1 minute and 1 second for the verdict to be issued on that last challenge. It was, as you saw, overturned. Odor a walk, a ground out, and a fly out. Pretty good breaking ball going to second. Chirinos, and the throw is wild into center field. Chirinos up and advancing to third. Oh, with a wild pitch and a throwing error, Rangers now have a very important run at third base, or potential run, with just 1 out.
Yeah, Robinson got an incredible jump on this ball. I mean, the second that ball went in the dirt, he took off. And now Ruby's he's in a hole 0-2. Infield is in. Now's when you really have to concentrate on making some contact right here.
Mariner infield pulled all the way in, as you can see. Little looper into shallow right center field. Cruz and Jackson. Jackson makes the catch, and Chirinos bluffed to move to home plate, and the throw pretty close to perfect.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do on that. It just wasn't deep enough.
Well, that is out number 2. And Adam Rosales now will try and get a base knock to bring in Robinson Chirinos. Looks at the slider for ball 1. Rosales has grounded out twice, fly to center. Leon from the stretch. 2 balls, no strikes. Rosales has faced Leon a couple of times before. He's hit by a pitch in one at bat, and he struck out the other. Kind of an awkward check swing attempt. He got a foul ball. Leon's 2-1. 36,000 umpires disagreed with that call. Ground ball right down the line and hits the bag.
That's what we're talking about.
It's going to be an infield single. Chirinos scores. Adam Rosales. Boy, you know, it's tough to hit a ground ball purposely and hit that bag. You got to practice a lot. And Rosales has a payoff. He drives in his second run of the year, and the Rangers have a 3-1 lead.
Well, it's probably a good thing that it did hit the bag. Seager won a Rawlings Gold Glove last year, and it looked like he's probably getting ready to lunge and catch that ball. Now, I don't know whether he could have thrown Adam out at first base, but rather than worry about it, It hit the bag and made it a moot point.
Well, the Rangers get back the run that the Mariners scored in the bottom of the 8th, and here's Carlos Peguero swinging through a low fastball for strike 1. Peguero came on as a pinch hitter for Jake Smolinski in the 8th inning and struck out. Peguero facing his former teammate Dominic Leone. Rosales at first, a 1-1 count. Now 1-2. Yeah, I think you're right about Seager. He was in pretty good position to get a glove on that ball.
Yeah, he's going to have a long throw all the way across the diamond, but we've seen him make a lot of nice plays over there.
That ball is skied to center field. Austin Jackson trotting in, makes the catch. That'll do it. But Rangers come up with a huge run on 1 hit, an error, and 1 man left. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. Neftali Feliz coming on, 3-1 Rangers. West is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By AT&T Uverse TV. Uverse has more live TV channels on the go than cable. And by your Texas Ford dealer. The EcoBoost Challenge is on at your Texas Ford dealer. Get to your best in Texas Ford dealer today. Now we go to the 9th inning. Rangers added just a little bit of insurance. They now lead 3-1 and turn the ball game over to Neftali Feliz. Feliz numbers this year, this is his 5th game. He has a save in his only opportunity. ERA coming down. It's now at 4.91, and he faces Kyle Seager to start things off for ball 1. Now, we mentioned Feliz against the Mariners. 26 shutout innings over 21 games against Seattle. 11 for 11 in save opportunities. This is 12th save chance. Mariner batters have gone 7 for 84 with 7 walks and 26 strikeouts against Feliz. That's an .083 batting average. 2 balls, no strikes. Kyle Seager takes one right down the middle. It is 2-1. Seager tonight has walked and twice grounded into a double play. Feliz, the 4th pitcher used by Jeff Bannister tonight. Sharply hit ground ball picked cleanly by Rosales. 1 gone.
Well, Seager has walked tonight, but he's hit into 2 double plays and that ground ball. 2 of the ground balls were hit hard. So it's a good sign after what he's done to the Rangers in his career, and especially last year, that a couple of balls he's hit hard have been right at somebody tonight. And he's 0 for 3. Nice to get that leadoff hitter. Nice to get the insurance run as well.
Yeah. It might have taken the Rangers a full series to get Seager 0 for 3 before.
Seemed like any time the game mattered, he came up and did something.
Here's Logan Morrison, takes ball 1.
Did he hit that home run last year at the beginning of the year? Was it Ogando? I think it was Ogando. Hung him a slider last year and he hit a game winner down in the right field seats against him.
Yeah. And ball 2 down and in. Morrison 1 for 3 tonight. 0 for 1 in the only matchup that he's had against Neftali Feliz. Right-hander back to the plate. 2-1. Morrison, a 182 average for the season thus far. Does not have an RBI. Drive to right field. Chu back at the wall, leaps up and takes it off the top of the wall.
He deked me.
Shin-Soo Choo at the last second took it right off the yellow line at the top of the wall for out number 2.
Well, I thought that ball was about 20 rows back when he hit it. Let's see how he did that. He had to look at his glove to make sure it was in there, but it was.
Tom, you've talked about that play a couple times in the last several days about getting back to the wall, jumping up and coming down with the ball.
Yeah, and he got back. It was so high, he got back to the wall, and then it was just a matter of jumping up to catch it. But nice play by Shin-Soo on a ball that looked like it was launched, but not quite.
Now here's Ackley. A check swing, it's a strike. And Neftali now has him down in the count, 0-2, and 1 out away from locking up his 12th consecutive save against Seattle. Neftali Feliz setting quickly. 1-2. Ackley tonight a single in 3 trips. Neftali Feliz probably had to exhale right after Shin-Soo Choo pulled that ball back off the yellow line.
He had a modest little grin on his face. He was pretty happy to see that ball come down and stay in the park.
1-2. Popped up. Beltre over to take a look, but that's back about 6 rows. And we will try it again. Rangers 3 runs on 7 hits tonight. The Mariners 1 run on 8 hits. They've committed the only error, and that error led to a very important run. Came in the Ranger 9th inning. Just off the inside corner. 2-2. Feliz sets. The 2-2 pitch. Sky to right field down the line. Odor ranging way over there, and that ball back 1 row. Rougned Odor. That's as far as you'll ever see a second baseman go and come close to catching it.
He can get down the line, boy.
Wow.
Didn't quite get there.
That's amazing. Yeah, that amount of ground coverage. Oh, Ackley back in. Feliz ready to work. This one's popped up, and if it comes down, this game will be over. that is a winner as Elvis pulls it down. Neftali Feliz, his 12th consecutive save against these Seattle Mariners. And the Rangers start off this 3-city, 8-game road trip with a W. They move back to within a game of 500. They're now 5-6. And they keep the Mariners reeling. They send the